Welcome everyone to the Altona Life Saving Club Junior Competition Award part of the evening. My name's Travis and I'm sure you'll know me but maybe not recognise me tonight without my hat on and shorts on. So we'll jump straight into it. Just firstly wanted to say what a fantastic season we've had. It's been some great results, some really good efforts from all the kids out there. We've pushed everyone very, very hard and we all know the results that were there at the end of the year at Warrnambool and also throughout the year. I want to say a massive thank you very much to Rosita, who helped me throughout the year. Everyone knows Rosita had to put up a lot from me, but I want to say a massive thanks to Rosita, and also all the other parents and other people who were involved in helping out with water safety, age managing, and also a big shout out to Gil, my wife, who had to put up with a lot of toing and throwing before events each week. But we'll move straight on to the awards tonight. The awards we're going through are Best Performing Girl, Best Performing Boy, Most Improved Girl, Most Improved Boy, Best Team Girl, Best Team Boy, Most Determined Girl, Most Determined Boy, and we'll be finishing off with our Junior Club Competitor of the Season for 2019-2020. So moving straight into the Best Performing Girl. Best Performing Girl nominees need to display these following criteria: outstanding strength, outstanding endurance, outstanding carnival performances, outstanding or improved, I think I've mucked that one up, and commitment to training as well. So the nominees for this are Charlotte Dunn from the under 11s, Evie Theodore from under 11s, Madison Cody under 13s, Ashley Baber under 12s, Kayla Bond under 9s, Isabella Metis under 9s, and Emily Smith under 13s. A lot of people in there. We had a fantastic efforts from all the girls all year, and this was probably one of the hardest ones to judge. With so many strong young ladies showing both class and improvement throughout the year, with strong performances in all areas, both training and at the competition days. Often this award is highly contested by the older age groups, but it was great to see two of our under 9s pushing themselves into contention. And it's my great pleasure to announce this year's Best Performing Girl to a young lady that has improved both at training and comp days when it comes down to her focus at training and her want to improve. With amazing results in Warrnambool, both in sand and in water, the winner is Isabella Metis. Fantastic. Well, a great round of applause. There's actually only about 20 people in here, but they can make a bit of a noise, I can tell you that. We'll move straight over on to Best Performing Boy, which has exactly the same criteria as the girls. We've got Josh Gillard from the under 11s, his younger brother Zach Gillard from the under 9s, Joe Charlesworth under 12s, and Christian Oberg from under 12s. All these four boys nominated this year have showed outstanding effort over many different events and are all worthy of this award. But our winner this year's effort that he put into training showed why he featured so heavily in finals at every carnival event throughout the season. A real leader on and off the beach. From hard work, he was always displayed, and I'm proud of his efforts this year. He was always one of the first at training and one of the last to leave, always asking for feedback, and I was always happy to give it. And the winner this year of Best Performing Boy is Joe Charlesworth. Brilliant. So we move on to the Most Improved Girl nominees. So the Most Improved Girls, we're looking at areas such as commitment to training, leading by example, skill improvement, overcoming adversity, outstanding behaviour, and attitude. I think this award, we see that everybody who competes for our club would all be able to be nominated for this award. It's where we've come from the start of the year to where I've seen everyone at the end of the year has been a huge improvement. Four of the people that I've seen improve massively are Eve Reynolds from the under 9s, Ali Sieber from the under 12s, Madison Ralston from under 9s, and Taya Miller-Dean from under 13s. The one thing I would say about this award overall is the push and the effort that these 4 girls have gone through to overcome different areas that they struggled with throughout the years, to move themselves from just competitors to being able to be in finals in different areas, and also from the other side of it as well, which is looking at someone who's maybe struggled a little bit early on, and to be able to finish off that end of the year with completing events that they felt they couldn't do at the start of the year. And that's always one of the hardest ones, and that's when I look at the most improved nominations, how I can see someone's effort from where they started to where they finished. And this year, I'm very proud to announce the winner of this award is someone who really, really pushed themselves through a lot of adversity, and that person is Taya Miller-Dean. Rightio, moving straight on. So, moving on to the most improved boy nominees. This is a great one for these 3 boys. Same criteria as before, and the 3 boys are Alex Dolby, Maverick Yin from the under-10s, and Matthew Hunt from the under-12s. I can look at these 3 men and think of different occasions each which puts them into contention for this award. Seeing Alex Dolby tame the seas at Janjuk, it was a terrible, terrible day. A lot of other people didn't want to get out in the water, and he still went out and he finished that board. Watching a lot of his peers get washed back to shore, it was a great thing for me to watch. Watching Mav hit the water in the wade like a bear was chasing him, which is something I always talked about throughout the year. Seeing that yellow, black and white hat hit the water first, and Mav was great for it. And it was something we talked about a lot at training, being that first person in the water. And when you look at the way Mav worked so hard at being that person, and he also did it at training as well, which really led by example too. And last but not least was watching Maddie's swimming improve. Maddie came to me early on in the year and he said to me, you know, swimming's my focus. It's something I want to really improve on. It's an area I'm going to really push myself. And that training he really did. Matt's focus was excellent and it was quite intense at some times. He was another one who really tried to zap as much information from me as possible about how he was doing, what he could do better. And the one thing with Matty I did see was that he trained like he wanted to win. He trained like he wanted to get out there and prove to himself and to others how much effort, you know, he pushed on with. And I think that was really well seen on that last day at Warrnambool, on the Monday when he competed in that swimming final. And that's why this year, most improved boy is Matthew Hunt. And Matty's dad's in the room tonight, ready for awards later. I know he's very, very proud of the efforts he's been able to do, so that's great. Rightio, Best Team Girl nominees. Now, Best Team, I think people see this as a bit of a coach's award. It definitely isn't a coach's award. It's more of a peer's award, and making people understand that the people who have been nominated are people who are great to have around the other people as well. I'm not saying everyone else isn't as well, but these young girls, they're really great in the atmosphere that we're trying to create within the club. So outstanding carnival performance, commitment to training, leading by example, skill improvement, overcoming adversity, outstanding behaviour and attitude, commitment to club values and showing strong leadership qualities. And I'll say that in both, the big areas I look at on this is club values, strong leadership qualities. And Maeve Sheehan from the under-9s, Emily Smith from under-13s, Kayla Bond from the under-9s and Ashley Baber from under-12s are 4 girls who demonstrated these areas a lot to me throughout the year. The one person I think that really put it out there for everyone to see, who's the person who will win this award obviously, was a great role model and a really great team person. And she got around all the other girls in the group and she also led by example. And that's a really hard one as well, because when you are in the older group of these, or older ones, it is a harder one as well, because it's your last year and you're trying to get focused on what you're trying to do as well. And I thought her behaviour this year has been excellent, and she was very lucky to have around the younger group, and I know that when she goes up into the seniors, she'll be an outstanding person as well. And that's why this year's winner is Emily Smith. Rightio, moving on to Best Team Boy nominees. Same criteria. We've got Adrian Bond from under 11s, Joseph Madden from under 12s, Ashton Corey from under 10s, Joe Charlesworth under 12s, and Alex Dolby under 11. Fantastic group of young men, but I must admit, this award is an award that I actually picked within the first 3 weeks of taking on the role. I actually spoke to Lisa at that time and said to her I could not believe the attitude of this young man. Didn't matter if it was someone younger, older, an adult, his behaviour with everybody in the club is something to be really proud of. One thing I will say to him is he always put others before himself, always coming up and saying, did you hear about so-and-so? Did you hear how they went in this event? Or seeing kids at training who did really, really well and probably obviously finished a lot further than him in different training events, afterwards going up saying, well done, you swam really well, or that was a fantastic board, and it's great to see, and especially from someone who isn't one of the oldest ones. But as I'm very, very proud to announce that this year's winner is Adrian Bond. Rightio, I hope I'm not going too fast. Am I going a little bit too fast? Do you want me to slow it down a little bit? No, I'm going perfectly, so that's not too bad at all. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the most determined girl nominees, which is really his commitment to training, leading by example, skill improvement, overcoming adversity, outstanding behaviour and attitude. And I think this year we've seen a lot of that through a lot of different competitors, and especially with some of the events we went to this year and the way the weather was. Start with Ocean Grove, look at Janjuk. It was huge and it was hard, and it was very hard work for the kids to be able to get out there and compete. The 4 girls that I've nominated for this award are Madison Cody, Kayla Bond, under 9s, Ashley Baber, under 12s, and Evie Theodore, under 11s. And I'll just go through a few little things about each one of them here. Madison's efforts in the water this year has been fantastic, and she should be very proud of her junior nippers. I think we all know that she'll take that next step up to seniors really easily. She's a fantastic swimmer and a great person to have around the club as well. On the other side of the coin, Kayla has just started her competition journey, and she kept pushing all the way through. And her improvement from the first one at Ocean Grove, where she was nervous, to the way she competed at States was exemplary, and she should be very proud of her efforts going as well. And Ashley, she always pushes the boundaries, and she trained very, very hard, and I pushed her boundaries as well, and I know that, and I'm sure she's watching and she'll know how much I pushed her. She's a fantastic young athlete, the way she can swim, board, and when she puts it all together and her confidence is up, she's a fantastic at the iron. Evie, it's hard to talk about Evie as she's my daughter, but she's worked extremely hard through the year, and to take her from where she was at the start to where she has at the finished, both in the sand and the water, has been an amazing effort. I'm very proud of her efforts and the way she's improved herself. She's finished off with some really amazing results in Warrnambool with finals, semi-finals in both disciplines on the sand and in the water. And that is why this year she has been given Most Determined Girl. Rightio, moving on to Most Determined Boy nominees. Same again, commitment to training, leading by example, skill improvement, overcoming adversity, outstanding behaviour and attitude. And with this group of boys, you knew exactly what you're going to get from them. Joe, Christian and Jonathan would give exactly what I asked from them at training with repeat efforts, and would help to drive themselves to success on comp days. And that's trying to get the best out of themselves. Riley, his excitement is what's going to make him a force in the future. He's a pocket rocket, and that kid really is one kid that I would say in that group who absolutely hates to lose. Doesn't matter if it's a normal flags at training or a board, he'll be always the first one saying, Trav, I know I'm with the under 9s, but can I go out and go around the pole 3 or 4 more times? And I think Riley's got some some real push going forward. Josh Gillard, he'll be a real loss to us. Obviously, he's going to Torquay, and I can tell you right now, he's one that we will see in the future for Torquay sitting up on that dais with many medals around his neck. He's an outstanding young man and does an extremely good job. So I will then put it over to who the winner is this year, and the winner of the most determined boy is Jonathan Weekhouse. Well, that's moved along a bit quicker than I thought, so I've almost got out of this in under 25 minutes. So we probably move on to the big one for the night, which is our junior club competitor nominees. And this is a hard one because so many kids had done so well all year. So outstanding strength, outstanding endurance, outstanding carnival performance, commitment to training, leading by example, skill improvement, overcoming adversity. As you can see, this covers everything. And the two nominees this year were Charlotte Dunn from the under-11 girls and Joe Charlesworth from the under-12 boys. I'll go into both the competitors quite a bit over this one. And I'll start with Joe, and I have talked about Joe already. Joe is an exceptional swimmer, an exceptional boarder, and I think this year having a bit more competition, the swimming from Matt as well, who won the most improved, has really helped push Joe on. His repeat efforts at training, the efforts he always wants to do at competition days is second to none. He's absolutely exactly the person I'd want to be able to coach. I'd push pretty hard, and I want the best out of every kid. I think if you're going to do competition, when you turn up for competition, there's one reason why you're here, and that's to improve and to get the best results you can. I said it one night when I was out the back, it's not all about how much bling you hang around your neck. It doesn't matter how good of a club you are. It's not all about the bling. It's all about the improvement and where you can see where you started and where you got to. And Joe is a perfect example of that. He was always a good competitor, but the efforts he made going throughout the year and at states were exceptional. And he should be very proud of his under-12 year. I know that next year in under-13s he'll thrive even more. Charlotte's probably the opposite on the other side, where we've got one in the water and one on the sand. And I think we all know the way Charlotte gets herself about. She is there and she is a competitor. You know, she rips that sand up like not many people you can see. She drives herself. She uses other people in her competition team to help drive her as well. She's always at Evie and Brianna and Bebal and Zoe to really help push her through and really wants them to run up against her. And one thing I did this year a little bit differently with Charlotte, and it was pretty well for Charlotte, was got everyone to competing in flags against each other. It doesn't matter if you're an under-9 all the way to, or under-8 all the way to under-13s. Because I want the kids to understand that you're not always going to be against someone the same size as you. Okay? And that's one thing we did do, and Charlotte got really big hip and shoulder from one of the boys, and she was upset, but she got back up, dusted herself off, and she was ready to go again. And that's the one thing with Charlotte. I mean, over the last 3 years, she's been extremely impressive, and that's, you know, with a medal tally of 5, and this year winning the gold in the sprint and silver in the flags. I think we can all understand why that she has. I've given her junior club competition of the year. Thanks. I'll say that again. I'll say that once more. Junior club competitor of the year. Sorry. So that's all the awards for me tonight. Again, I just want to say a massive thanks to the Altona Surf Lifesaving Club for giving me the opportunity to run the junior competition. It was a bit of a late one jumping into it. Obviously, helped Paul out over the last couple of years with him doing it, and I was stepping into some pretty big shoes. My shoes are bigger, but you know what I'm trying to say. And he's done such a great job in driving the kids forward. So all I was really doing is picking up a bit of a mantle of where the kids were. I sort of pride myself on trying to push the kids and have a bit of a winning sort of attitude as well. And I think the results this year actually quite shocked me. When I look back at it, I had a parent say to me early on, that they didn't know if they'd book the Sunday night because they didn't know how many of us would be there on the Monday. And I said, I think you'd be making a massive mistake not booking Sunday night. And I think that when we looked around on that Monday, and it was a pretty wild day in the morning, and everyone looked around and the amount of Altona people were there, and the amount of Altona kids competing was exceptional. And from where we were from the start of the year, or even where we were 3 or 4 years ago to where we are now, Altona's not seen as a token gesture. Altona's seen as a force. And that's not just in juniors, that'll be in the senior stuff we talk about now as well. So do yourself a favour when you're watching, stick with it, stick with your Nippers journey, because I can promise you there's great things to come in this club. And as I said, it's not all about the bling, but the success that we are seeing is been great to watch. So I look forward to handing over to the new guys coming through next season who are going to be running the program. I'm still hoping to get the Giggers under 12 comp help on the days for competition, if they let me do it. And looking forward to seeing everyone else out on the beach. Stay safe, and thanks very much for your time.